Hello everyone, Hugo Boren here one more time, and today I have one of my clients in here and we are working on a hip mobility and for a sumo base and for like how they guard pass, and it's an exercise to make your body able to pass better people guard and to loosen up your hip and for a lot of things. So we're gonna start in a sumo base. We're gonna do a bit wide today, and you're gonna check that out for me while you're doing. Okay, you can start there as well. So we start in here. It's not in your shoulder line. We open a bit more your legs. We go as far as I can. The secret here, it's not lift your heels off the floor. I know a lot of you struggle with that, like with short tendons or whatever is your issue, mobility, flexibility. You cannot do this exercise without lift your heels off the floor. But in here, the main thing is going down and keeping your heel on the floor, okay? In that position, open up your chest always, not crunching your back. You're not a Disney cartoon, a Quasimodo or anything like this. You open up your chest. So I slide my hip down. So before they do that, I pop my hip and get down, leaving my foot on the floor, both sides. So I shift my body weight from this side for the opposite side. Shift it for the opposite side. Come back, shift for that side. And I come back in this transition of the sumo base. What's up, Justin? How are you today, brother? So in this position, I am always looking to push my toes to the ground, the space in it. Go back to the sumo base and shift my body weight for one side. Pop it up my hip, always. Don't crunch your back, posture up, pop it up my hip and shift my body weight to the side. Make sure your sole foot is on the ground, pushing your toes into that base. Shift for the opposite side, okay? Once you're comfortable shifting your hip for one side, for another, you're solid in this base. You're looking at to push your hip forward and a fight business, and a lot of times you're gonna have to push your hip into fire. You're passing someone guard, you're in this base, you're comfortable in here already for one side, for an opposite side. You can rely on this move. Once you can rely on this switching for one side, for an opposite side, go on you. Yeah. You can rely on this.
Taking it all in.
You can push your hip forward. So from that now, we are in the sumo base in here. Obviously, it's not the classic one, which is we do like this, is a bit wider. So we're gonna push off your hip. My knee, it will accidentally touch the ground, but it doesn't come off my knee. Comes off my hip. So my hip pushes my knee, and I touch down on the ground. So come back up. So foot now, I do for the opposite side. My hip pushes me, my hip pushes me, my knee accidentally touch the ground. Come back up, boom. My hip pushes me, boom. My knee touch the ground. Always pushing off my hip. Come back for the opposite side. So foot on the ground. Make sure you're not leaving like this, tip toes, or you're not pushing off your toes on the ground. Make sure you're spacing out your toes. I already show you exercises for space out your toes. Some of them get that toes mobility. You're getting the full grip here. Going back to there for one side, for opposite side. Pushing off your hip. Always off your hip. So coming back for the sumo base in here. So we will do the same thing over and over. So sumo base, now we're going to be both knees. I want you to just freeze one split second before you get down to the ground. I want to see you doing as well.
Oh, yes.
So in here, sumo base. Now, hip, freeze 1 second. My knees touch the ground. Come back up. Hip, knees touch the ground. Come back. I don't want you to get up to do it. From here, from this base, my hip pops, my knee touch the ground. Come back up, my hip pops, my knee touch the ground. And then you can switch around. For this, all this exercise you can play it around. You can be here. Spread out my legs, switch, boom. Spread out my legs, switch for this side. Switch for one side, for the opposite side. Always popped off with my hip, my knee touch the ground. And you can come back for this one. Pop the hip, my knee touch the ground, okay? That's all I want to show you. Thanks everyone for coming today. Hey Pat. Hey Justin. Oh, hopefully everyone got the moves. Okay, thanks for coming today, it was a pleasure.